been a while. How are you guys doing? How are you guys enjoying the event? All right, awesome. Yeah, I just want to cover Shopify. I haven't really worked too much with Amazon. Mostly everything I do is Shopify. One reason, like, I kind of want to go into the story of how I even got into this. I'm originally from Russia. I was born in Siberia. My sister had an accident when I was like 5 years old. She was like 11 months or something like that. She was like 11 months old, fell when she was learning how to walk, got brain damage. So we came to the States to seek doctors, and they couldn't really do anything. So we ended up staying. We were pretty poor as a kid when I was a kid. So no English, no nothing. My dad was supporting the family, so he started, as a mechanic, and then moved on to his own trucking company. So he went into business. So I saw business early on. So I knew I just didn't want to ever work for anyone. Um, so my childhood was really, I would describe it as like wonderfully unsupervised. Um, so like I would yeah, I don't like um I would like as a kid I was pretty bad. Like one time I just like lit my room on fire. I'm just playing with like cotton balls. So it's like I wasn't the smartest kid, and I tried to put it out with a fan. So if I could figure this stuff out, you could figure it out, right? So, um, yes, yeah. My mom was like, "What are you doing?" Downstairs, like she's like, "Water right there." I was like, "I don't know. I just blew it with a fan. The whole room caught on fire." So no matches for me the rest of my childhood. Um, so I went to school. I never really did good in school. Got bullied a lot as a kid because I didn't know English, and then I would just draw all over my desks and stuff. Never really paid attention. I just like couldn't do it. And then after that, I decided to join the military. Went into the military. I was in the Navy. Broke my arm 3rd year in because I went to go pee by a cliff and fell off, and yeah, it wasn't like a really cool story. If you guys are hoping for a cool story. So at that point, I realized I just didn't want to be told what to do because you kind of get treated like a dog in the military. I didn't really like it, but it set me up for future success. It gave me the GI Bill. I was able to go to college. I went to college for animation in San Francisco. Before I went there, I spent like 6 months at home, and everyone was still doing the same thing that they were doing before I left. So I was like, I can't be here. It's not going to be good if I don't leave. So I left. My dad was like, "Yeah, get out of the house." So like, went to San Francisco, started going studying 3D animation. My dream was to work at Pixar or Disney. And then about halfway through it, my professors were like, "Yeah, you work 18-hour days, and the pay is like 40 grand." And I was like, and then they're like, and most people don't even get in. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna start marketing then. So I started looking for other options, and I started with affiliate marketing in the beginning. I saw like an ad, and it was like 3 steps or something. It was like I forgot what it was. It was like Acme People Search. It was an old company. It was like in 2009 or something like that. I don't remember. But it was like a $5 buy-in. And they were like, "Oh, if you just like tier up and get more people sign up, you're gonna make a ton of money." I was like, "Yeah, all right, I'm gonna do that." Made like 2 sales. I remember making my first $25 sale, and then that's when it was like it became an addiction. This whole thing, it all spawned from that. I didn't really know how I did it at all. I would just go to like my friends, and I'd be like, sign up or whatever. But the sale came from like online, and I didn't know how to run ads at the time. I didn't know anything at all. I would just Google everything. I didn't really like mentorship or any of that stuff. I was like, I'll figure it out. There's no way I'm paying somebody to teach me anything. I'll figure it out. And that took 10 years. So mentorship is key. um, so yeah, so from there, while I was in school, I think it was my first year in school, I saw another ad for this company. It was called Empower Network. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that. It was like a cult. I got in like a cult, a money cult, so it's a good cult. So the first video I saw was this guy like on his porch or something. He's drinking whiskey in like Costa Rica, and he's like, "Yeah, I make 30 grand a month." And I was like, "What? I want to make 30 grand a month and drink whiskey on my porch." I was like, "How do I do that?" And it was like a $25 buy-in to like some blogging system. I bought that, and they started teaching more of how to do online stuff. The company's not around anymore. The owner went insane. But so yeah, it was like a blogging system, and then second course that you buy from there was like 500 and then 1,500, and I didn't really have any money. And then like an all-in was like $5,000 or something like that. So I called up my dad because I was like so into it. I was like, but I didn't have much money. So I called my dad and I was like, I'm gonna take a year off school and work construction or something, and to get like all into this. And he was just like, no, you're not. He's like, you're just gonna break your arm again. So he gave me the $5,000. He's like, stay in school. So at the same time, while I was in school, I was also trying to figure this stuff out. So I was only sleeping like 2 hours a day while I was doing that. And it introduced me to events. So the first event I went to was in Seattle for this company. And I was super nervous because I didn't know who would be there. I showed up in a suit and stuff. I was like, okay, like I gotta look presentable, and everyone else is wearing like wife beaters and flip flops. I was like, okay, well, this is the kind of event. Okay, so I went over there. I saw the speakers, and I really wanted to do that, and it just blew my mind how like-minded everybody was there, and I just wanted to be around that all the time. So I started going to events every 3 months. Took me a while, but then I started making a little bit of an income. But it had a lot to do with building teams, and I got burnt out on that pretty quickly. So that's when I got introduced to e-commerce. I was like, hold on, like I don't got to talk to anybody. They just come to my store, I sell them something, and then they leave. I was like, okay, that sounds great to me. I think one of the things that I liked, one of my mentors said, David Wood, he's talking about how you earn money. Someone has to give you money. There's no other way to make money. Somebody has to give it to you, whether it's a boss or whoever. They just have to give you money. So, you know, when I saw this, I was like, wait, hold on. So I could have thousands of people giving me money all the time. How do I do that where they just keep giving it to me all the time and I don't have to talk to them? So that is why I love e-commerce. So how's this thing work? I don't know. Okay. Yeah, that's me. Okay. So I got into e-commerce. I took a course. It was like 150 videos. I went through them in like 2 days, no sleep. Or it was like 3 days, no sleep, because I was that into it, and I wanted to get a store up and running really, really fast. So went through it, set up my store within 3 days, and then learned the traffic part. And then on the 4th day, I was making sales. That's when I started doing events and teaching it. And then I ran into one of my buddies that I had met at the cult. And he also lived in the area that I was living in, so I invited him to my house up in San Francisco where I was living. His name was Hank. We ran a lot of workshops together and did a lot of events together. It was really fun. I helped out a lot of people, and I brought him in. He didn't know anything about e-commerce, so I was like, I really wanted to work with him because I saw that I've seen him speak on stage once. He had a pretty powerful story, so I needed a partner with somebody because it's really hard to do this all on your own. So I brought Hank from Chico to San Francisco, and within like 3 days, I helped him set up his store, and then we found this product. This was 2016. It's called the Fidget Cube. I don't know if you guys remember that. So we found that. It was by a company called Ansi Labs, but we didn't have the product, but we wanted to sell it because we saw how well the video was doing, so we found it on AliExpress. There was one vendor that had it on AliExpress. So we put it on our store. We just made a quick product page and sent traffic to it. Day one, it was like $3,000, and each of us made that. And Hank's like looking at me like, what? And we spent like maybe like $20, $50, I don't know, to make that. And we were just like looking at each other like, oh my goodness, we should probably scale this. So we dumped in more traffic, and on the second day, it was like $12,000 each that we made. And that's when I was like, okay, what? Day three, we were making like $30,000 a day each, or $40,000 or something like that. And that's when I was like, Hank, I was like, what's happening? Are we gonna go to jail? This doesn't, like, I've never seen that kind of money. So we're like walking around the house, like freaking out, like, oh my, like, are we like, this is impossible. We never seen that kind of money before. So we just would start spending like an insane amount of time just not sleeping, finding more products. So what happened with that was, since it wasn't our product and it wasn't our video that we were using, and we were using video to advertise on Facebook, the company came after us, and they were like, look, that's not your video, you gotta take it down. And we were like, okay. And then Facebook sent us a thing, shut down the ad account. So we were just like, well, we'll just create another ad account. And we created like 50 ad accounts and just kept running it. And then we were just like, okay, we made way too much money. We should probably shut this down so we don't get sued. But then I saw everybody started selling it. Everyone started sourcing that same product from AliExpress, and then like fidget spinners came out. But we were like one of the first to run it on Shopify and run it on Facebook. But you never want to steal other people's videos. Hank actually did that. He took someone's content. He was like promoting, what are those? They're like fog kind of things. I don't know. I don't even know what they're called. I don't know. You just put this thing on it. They're like little tiny Buddhas with like this thing. Incense, yeah. Yeah, and so he took somebody else's content and they came after him and sued him for like $70,000, so don't do that. So what we would start doing is we would start grabbing products from, we would go to Amazon, order the products because it gets there in 2 days, so then we'd film the product and then we'd source it from AliExpress and then we'd sell it because we never really wanted to handle products. And the beautiful thing about e-commerce and something like Shopify and drop shipping and all that stuff, you're able to test products very, very quickly. So it's never a good, I want to see if something works first. Like I don't want to get a whole bunch of inventory and then have it fail and then be like, oh crap, I got a garage full of incense burners. It's like, so we would quickly make videos, find products, test, and then whatever took off, we would just scale that. And that's how we did it. That's why I think this is awesome. All right, should probably get into these slides. But yeah, so that was my first experience with Hank doing that, and then we started doing more stuff as far as like one of the other products I saw. It was like, have you guys ever seen that video with it was like two girls that had like body balloons or something, and they're like jumping in the body balloons. So the girl that did that, her name was Rachel Levin. She was like a YouTube influencer or whatever. So I contacted her and I was like, can I use this video? But I didn't even have the product. I didn't even know where to source this product. I talked to her. She's like, yeah, go ahead, just use it. Just mention me. So I made this quick video. And on the top, it was like my typical Friday night, and these two girls are just like blowing up these body balloons and jumping in them. And it was like a 30-second video. I ran that, and that was doing like 25 grand a day. And I was like, oh my goodness, dude, are you kidding? And then I sold it because I just wanted to do it as a test. But it got like 75 million views in 3 days, and I was like, oh no, where do I get this product? I didn't expect it to sell. So I started scrambling, couldn't find it on AliExpress, couldn't find it anywhere, and then I found like some company in like Italy that said that they would like send it out to us. But it was just like the craziest hassle. But it was just insane how fast it blew up and how fast a video can take off and make you money. So yeah, why e-commerce? You can start placing ads to make automatic sales. When you set up your ad, you just leave it running, and typically within 24 to 48 hours, you find out if the product is working. If it's working, then you could go ahead and start scaling, order the products or whatever you need to do to move forward. There's like minimal investment. There's very little overhead. You're not buying a whole bunch of products. You're not doing any of that stuff. You're just drop shipping, basically. It's really cool. It's growing every year, so now's the best time. Claim your share. E-commerce has been around since like the 90s. I think Gary Vaynerchuk was doing e-commerce in like the 90s. I think it was like with the wine library or something like that. And then over the past, I would say 8 years, it really took off because like Facebook ads. And the cool thing about Facebook ads, it's impulsive. So you're getting in front of people when they're exactly the right type of people, when you know their entire demographic, what they're interested in, what they want, and you just pop up in their newsfeed and show. So it's not like they're looking for it. And then you could retarget them and all that cool stuff. Yeah, you don't need to own your own products. Simple, fun, and easy. And you start seeing results fast. Yeah, so typically when you launch a product, even when you're testing, you're going to get sales. It's like not possible not to get sales when you're running a Facebook ad. The difficult part is making sure that your numbers are correct, but it's a good way. My voice is cracking. Am I nervous? I don't know. Yeah, so it's really, really quick to test. Let's see. Oh yeah, example. So I want to show you guys an example of a store. You guys want to see a store? Yeah? Okay. Have you guys ever bought anything outside of Amazon, like on a different store? Okay, I want to show you what, there's a purpose behind it. Here's one of the stores. I don't even know if it's showing up. Yeah. So this is one of the I don't know if you guys, this is funny. I don't know if you guys ever heard of this. This wasn't my idea. So I partnered with Caitlin. She's actually back there somewhere. She's over there in the purple with the purple laptop matching. This was her idea to run this, and I partnered with her. I would say like a year ago, and we were testing different products. I think one of the first ones we wanted to do was like tea or something, like those like little tea balls or whatever. You put them in like hot water, they expand and it turns into a flower. I was like, oh, that's a real cool idea. So I put together a really cool video for that, but we never quite tested it. Then we moved on to this. There was like 3 or 4 products that we tested before we found this, and this I forgot how much this has made so far. A lot, multiple 6 figures since we started, and it took off really, really fast because we had really good video content for it. But it's really simple. So I don't know if I should explain this. Yeah. Let's like Caitlin. Where's Caitlin? Can we have her come up? She can explain this. Where's she at? I should not be talking about this. I'm not the guy. I just marketed it. Maybe give like a little backstory on like what happened and how this got started. Yeah, I'm just gonna.
Okay, so my.
It got really hot in here.
That was kind of the look he gave when I presented the idea too. Okay, so my name's Caitlin, and back in 2016, I actually launched a menstrual cup company, right? So it's like a tampon alternative for women. So I was kind of like in the vicinity of like feminine hygiene type stuff, you know. So when we were trying to do different products, I kind of wanted to keep in that realm because I knew that niche. I was familiar with it. I already had email lists and stuff built. So this is a Yanni egg, right? So it's very similar to a Benoit ball. It's used to insert in, and then you do your Kegel exercises, and it helps to strengthen the pelvic muscles. Yeah, right? Pretty cool. But since it's a crystal, it actually targets a very like hot niche right now. Crystals, chakras, frequencies, hertz, all this kind of stuff, spiritual kind of stuff is really, really big right now. So you get to target, you know, the up and coming millennial generation for the spiritual aspects, and then you can target, you know, like the 35 to 55-year-old generation because it really does have awesome health benefits. So yeah, this would be the Yanni egg, and I kind of presented it to Pavel, and he kind of looked at me and he was like, wait, what? What do you want to run? How do you want to run it? And you know, I gave him the idea, and he put together the ad, and then, like he said, we started running traffic, and you know, the first day, we actually started having sales, and I was like, wow. And then, you know, the second day, third day, he started scaling it, and it was doing very, very well, which I'm sure he'll show you how the ads go.
All right. I got, yeah.
Oh,
I don't know.
got it?
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Yeah. Does that? Okay. Yeah.
All right, yeah.
All right. Well, give her a round of applause. All right. So yeah, this is that. So what we like, Shopify and Facebook ads it's not how it used to be back in like, I would say like 4 or 5 years ago when it was really, really easy to just set up just like an engagement ad and run it at $5 and then you just make a whole bunch of sales. That's what we were doing with fidget spinner or fidget cubes, and it was like magnetic cubes or whatever for kids and just pet toys and all that stuff. And anything that we would launch would just immediately get traction, get a whole bunch of sales, and it reached a lot of people. But over the years, Facebook, a lot more people have started using Facebook. They've become more intelligent. The marketplace has become more intelligent. So it got a little bit more expensive. So now instead of just, you know, sending out an ad and making a whole bunch of money, there's a process to everything now. I'll go over that process in a little bit. But typically what we'll do is what I'll do for every single campaign. And because back then it would just be one video. I wouldn't even retarget. I would just like send it out in like 3 weeks of, you know, making a whole bunch of money, and I never touched it. But I never like retargeted the customers because I just didn't need to. It was just doing that well. So at this point right now, since I think it was like the whole Cambridge thing with Facebook, and I think it was like Cambridge Analytica when they had their whole thing happened with them with the data leaks or whatever it was, it got a lot more difficult to use Facebook. So now there has to be a process. Facebook pays more attention to the type of content that's on Facebook, how valuable the content is. So typically the process that I'll do, I think I'm going to go over this a little bit later. I just want to give you like a simple example. Like we'll do like a video funnel and we'll explain what the product is. And sometimes we'll send to different landing pages to educate the market, to show them like blog posts, retargeting them that way, showing that we're an actual brand that fulfills and sends out the products. So yeah, so this is what it looks like. The product pages are actually really simple. Everything that we have created, we got consent from people to use the content. All the images we have are images that we have taken, because we've seen that if you use other people's images, they'll come after you and you don't want a lawsuit. So everything has to be original content. But when you're testing, if you're doing like 24 hours of testing just to figure out what the product is, you could like, I'll just use someone else's content just to see if it works, and then I'll shut it down immediately. And then if it works, I create my own content. Product pages are really, really simple. So typically I'll send people either to the homepage or to the product page. And the less complicated, the better. It's got good descriptions. Then it's got, frequently bought together. I don't know how, I think you could do that on Amazon as well. No, really. I think it has like, get this and then add this to it or whatever. So it just helps average order value. So whatever you can do to raise the average order value, the better. So we like to always do bundles, some sort of offer that either they get something cheaper or whatever. So I think our average order value is like $90, $100 the customers will spend every time they come to the store, which is really, really cool. And then we'll have like blog posts on there. So this is it's pretty neat stuff. Where is this? Yeah, all the blog posts over here. So we'll market these out using Facebook, like Yoni Eggs 101, what is it, how to do all that stuff. So this is typically the format for something when you find that product that works. Let me go back to these slides right here. Okay. So what was I saying? I just totally got off track, I think. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, so typically what we'll do is we'll create one general store. That's where we, like a superstore, like a Walmart. Like it just sells everything. It's not really niche specific. So that's you all right? Cool. He almost fell. I got worried. So a general store, that's something you put like a whole bunch of categories in there. Actually, how do I make this full screen? I don't even know. I can't. I don't see. I don't know. I'm so bad with technology, and yet. So you don't have to be super technological with this stuff to do it. So yeah, general store. So we'll do that, and we'll simultaneously run those alongside the niche stores that we find. So once we find that niche product, then we kind of won't run any traffic to the other store. We'll focus on creating the niche store, which is specific about one product, and then we'll just run that till till it fatigues or whatever. So let's see here. That was the example. So why Shopify? It's got drop shipping, so you don't, you're the middleman. You never have to touch the product. That's what I really like. That's what I got really attracted to. Because at first, have you guys heard of Teespring? Or like T-Launch or those? I was doing Teespring at first, before I even got to Shopify. And I like the fact that you'd never had to have the products, but I always wanted to sell other products. Like I wanted to put images on like phone cases, or I wanted to put them on like a hat. But at the time, it was only T-shirts and I think a few other things. So I couldn't find anything where you could put print on demand on like a phone. And then there was one, I think it was like T-Chip or T-Launch or one of them. I don't remember. But I put like a Dragon Ball Z thing of like Goku on a phone case, and I put it on one of my fan pages that had like 250,000 followers on it. I put it on there, and I didn't even run traffic to it, and within like an hour, it made like $2,000, and I was like, holy crap! So at that time, no one was really sending out different variety of products, so that's why I really fell in love with it. And when we started doing things a little bit differently than everybody else, what people were mostly used to seeing on Facebook, and that's when our income went up. So we constantly focused on finding something new that somebody else isn't doing. So you collect cash first from the customer, so that kind of fuels your ads. And it also, when they pay, then you just pay the vendor. The vendor sends it out to the customer. So you're never using your own money to really pay for the products. Place orders. You place your order with the vendor. Yeah, vendor mails it out. Customer gets the product. You never touch the product. Great business model, I think. AliExpress. Mm-hmm. AliExpress. Yeah, so it's a company that's like everything's super cheap on there. It's a Chinese company. So the problem with drop shipping is it takes 2 weeks for the product to get delivered. So when we were doing it, when we test, but we let the customer know beforehand that it's going to take 2 weeks. So it says 2 to 3 weeks. Usually it takes like 10 days, but we like to tell the customers, hey, it's going to take 2 to 3 weeks for your product to arrive, and that way when they buy the product, they already have seen it, so they're already willing to wait that amount of time. And usually the products that we pick are pretty unique, so people are going to wait. And then we find a way to actually get inventory and then send it out, and that way the delivery time's like 2 to 3 days. It just when you're yeah, that's typically how you do it. But you could tell them to, what not to put on there, so it looks really nice. You could ask the vendors. You could build relationships with the vendors. So when you go on AliExpress, once you start drop shipping, you could message the vendor and be like, hey, can you not make this look not good, and put it in the box. Make it look good. Yeah, like a box or like some sort of thing. So this is results from one of the stores. I think it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Never would have I thought I would have been doing this. Possibility of 6 figures a month can happen very fast. It's duplicatable on multiple stores. When it happens fast. So that's the crazy thing. When you find that one product, and since Facebook is so impulsive, we'll run both on Instagram and Facebook at the same time. One product can just absolutely blow up within one day, and then the next day you're just like, what is happening? Let's go drinking. So this is one of our main stores that we had. We did $359,000 in sales from January 1st to August 6th. So that was pretty good results, and you could see that there was a huge spike. So I think this was a general store. So that spike is when we found a product and we just scaled it immediately. So the goal is to scale as fast as possible when you find that winner. Ordered what? Oh, okay. Yeah. So that product we have inventory. So that gets sent out. But typically there's a whole process where I think I'll go over in the second half of how we fulfill orders and how that everything gets sent out. But you see it all goes into the back office. It's really simple. And then there's applications that we use where they're connected to the vendors, and the vendor just immediately sends it out. We don't really do much at all. It's really simple. It's really easy to scale real time. Same week payouts. I think it was daily pay. I think it's daily payouts, right? It's weekly payouts. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. So I don't even know if I could zoom in. Well, so yeah, those were our payouts just from that store, which is really awesome. That's another thing, because when I was doing affiliate marketing, it would be every 2 weeks we get paid or something, every couple weeks or something. And then I saw this, and when I started, it was you make sales that day, and then the next day it's in your bank. And I was like, oh my goodness. So at some points it was 40 grand coming in every single day, and my bank's like, yo, what are you selling drugs? So that was pretty crazy. So yeah, like I said, one hot product. This was the body balloons from that one video with the 2 girls. Unfortunately, that Facebook account got taken down because I uploaded a video from a scene, a clip from a movie. It was In the Army Now with Pauly Shore, onto my actual page, and Facebook was like, nah, goodbye account. So I'm using another one. So the page went down with it, or else I'd show you the video. But this was the one where we launched that video, and then within 3 days it got 75 million views. 20 grand in a day, and that was just the start of it. And I wasn't really spending that much to do this at all. The video was so viral. So I try to choose videos that are really, really viral. I try to structure them in a way that's viral, where it grabs people's attention, where they want to share it. If they share it, and if they comment on it, they like it, that creates likes by association, and a lot more people see it. So you're getting more free traffic. Free traffic is good traffic. So the issue with that was, I'll give you a tip. So that video within those 3 days, since it blew up so fast, Facebook like took it down, and I freaked out because then the income stopped from that one product. So I hit up Facebook and I was like, hey, listen, I got consent from the owner of the content that I could use it. Here's the back and forth that I had with her on Twitter. And then it took like 4 days, and then they put it back up, and then it just never performed the same. So the way around it is Facebook has something called business or Facebook Rights Manager. So you want to go to them, or you could go to Facebook Business Help Center and tell a rep that, hey, before you even post the content, hey, I got this content, here's the consent, whatever, they won't take it down. I'm sorry. So Facebook Rights Manager, and then the other site you can go, I think it's Business or Facebook Help Center, Facebook Business Help Center. You can just Google that, and it'll be like the first link that pops up. Yep. Yeah. Oh, were you raising your? I thought you were stretching this. No. So, so scaling means, so when you're, let's say the day one, you're spending $10 a day on your ad, and it's making you $30 back. So you're seeing that that product is working, and you want to make more money. So you put in more money into the ad. Instead of spending $10 a day, now you're spending $100 a day. And then so you're putting in more money into the ad to increase more, so you get more sales in return. Does that make sense? Okay, so I'll go over that on the second half. Yeah, so Facebook has its own thing where you pay for ads and set them up. Sorry, I didn't see that you're. So a lot more people are buying online. A lot more people are getting comfortable with paying online. Amazon definitely has. It's just absolutely crushing as far as the trust factor. I think it's like the top trusted company. So with e-commerce, you have to make sure that you do everything right, so you also build that same type of trust. A lot of people were doing it wrong in the beginning. I knew people that were drop shipping and not even sending orders out. I was like, what are you doing? They were just taking the money. So that's bad. So don't do that. Don't do that. I think that's how you go to prison. I don't know. So a few more things. Yeah, so it's fast-paced, income streams. It's easy to duplicate, sustainable, and low overhead. Kind of went over that. That was let's see here. Yeah, Shopify. There's a few other platforms besides Shopify that you can use to run dropshipping business, or just to have your own e-commerce store. I find Shopify to be the best one just because it's so simple to use, and I've just been using it for a long time. I've tried Magneto, and I think I definitely tried Magneto. I didn't really like it. Shopify is just really, really simple. It's just apps. It almost feels like the Apple of all the other platforms. Let's see. So this is also an example of another store. So Weber watches, a store focused for like accessories for men. So we'd have jewelry, sunglasses, watches. So you could really, from running your general store, you could create all sorts of niche stores around it. So you could have like 5, 6, 7 stores selling specific items that you found work for you. So the amount of stores that you could have is limitless and super cheap to set up. And yeah. Also, choose a name that you want to lead with. I like having .coms. It just looks better, I feel like, but it doesn't really matter if you have like a .net or whatever other domains there are. And you want to name so if it's like a general store, typically we'll call it something like gearbest.com, or or if it's like a store that sells like wild, tactical gear or whatever it is, you want to have the name obviously in the domain to set that up. So it kind of makes sense when people see it. I don't know if you guys want to take a picture of that or something. But yeah, that's really, really important. And when you're advertising with Facebook, which I'll also go over on the second half, Facebook has something called fan pages. And you want to name your fan pages that have, that are congruent to the store or business that you're running, just so it creates a little bit more trust, and you could build a following, and then that's basically like your list that you could, get free sales from in the future. Shopify is relatively cheap. It's like $29. to $79 for then $299. The difference with those, you get a little bit more perks. The percentages on what Shopify takes per sale is a lot less. I love it because you could just mark up products for whatever price you want. So if on AliExpress you find a watch that's like $3, you could scale it up to like $30 and sell it, and that covers your advertising cost. So I think it's really cool. Let's see here. Set up your theme. So there's a lot of themes that that Shopify has to offer. There's free themes that you can set up really quickly. You don't have to pay for the theme at all. I typically do this when I'm testing a product. When I want to create like a niche store really quick that I think will work, I will I'll use a free theme and then I'll run traffic to it. And if it works really well, I'll do a paid theme. The only difference is with free themes, you just won't have any of the other perks that you'll need to have like a ton more apps, and there's not a lot that you can really change around, switch around, and like customize with free themes. With paid themes, you'll have support, and you could just tell them like, hey, I want this, do it, and they're like, okay. And so these are the apps that you could have. There's a marketplace that Shopify offers where it has different types of apps. That Oberlo is actually one of the apps that we use for fulfillment. It automatically connects to the vendors on AliExpress, and it just gets everything. It's pretty much all automated. This just makes your life so much easier. I wouldn't use Oberlo. This is a screenshot of one of the stores that we were using it. We switched over to something else, so don't write Oberlo down. It's called Dropified, if you guys are interested. So you can edit your settings. You can fill in this is pretty much how you get started. It's not that complicated to do this. It's really simple. Like I said, the Shopify theme is really user-friendly. So basically, when you create your Shopify store after you've gotten your trial plan, you just fill in your business information, choose your payment settings, set up your shipping information, and avoid technical hangups and just take action fast. Pretty good, right? Create your basic pages. Let me know if I'm going too fast. Do you guys want me to yeah? Go. Too fast? I apologize. All right. I'm going to go a little bit slower. I do know that, yeah, I'm sorry, that is a lot of information. But let's see here. Let me know if you guys, I can move on to the next slide if you guys have taken your screenshot or whatever. Yes? Everyone's good? Cool. Yeah, I can send you the slides. Yeah, create your basic pages. So create your About Us, Contact, FAQ pages. Yeah, get advice on this. Trust me. So one of the things that you definitely want to have on your stores at the bottom where where you could see like contact information about, you definitely want to have that. You want to have your terms of service, privacy policy, refund. Facebook looks for that. So when you're running your ads on Facebook, Facebook wants to see that you have all of this and that you're not just stealing people's money, basically. So that is really good to have. And Shopify actually in their back office, they have all that built out. So they're already pre-written. So you just kind of click a button and it just uploads to your site. So you don't really have to write all that. You just kind of put in the information like your business address or the name of your store. You just switch out the names and then it just uploads it directly. So you don't really have to spend any time on that either. Yep. Yeah, I would definitely, if it's, I think that just means get advice from me. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, you definitely have to, I would get legal advice, especially if it's like a product that you don't, that you're trying to scale with or you don't own. Or I always try to get legal advice on anything that I'm trying to scale because I don't want to have any issues. Definitely want to get advice as far as like images. You don't want to use anybody. We just do everything ourselves. Like we don't take images from any other store. We don't take Google images or anything like that and put it on our store. So that's definitely, yeah, okay. I don't know. Does that answer your question? Okay. Yeah, legal pages, so the legal information. This is where you generate like your refund policy. So it says right there, generate sample, and that'll just upload that directly to your store. Yeah. Let's see here. I'm just trying. Yeah, so there's a few different ones, I think. The refund policy, the privacy policy, um, and that just goes for any store, any business that you have. You always want to have that on your stores. It's good to have. I definitely shouldn't have worn this jacket. I am sweating so much. Are you guys sweating? um, I, feel, I feel naked without it, though. um, So research your competitors. Now this goes on to the Facebook section. We always research our competitors. We want to see what they're doing, and we like to model all the time. We don't try to reinvent the wheel. We look at what's successful. If it's successful, we just model after it, and that's it. And you can research your competitors right in Facebook. They have something called what is this? It's a Facebook Insights or Audience Insights tool. It comes built in with Business Manager, so you could go in there, you could look up how many people are in the audiences that you could target, what age they are, all that type of stuff. It's really, really powerful tool to use, and I use it all the time to figure out who I should be targeting with my advertising, so it doesn't market everybody. Marketing to everyone is just marketing to no one. So you want to be really strategic and on point when you're doing your targeting and your research. So that is Audience Insights tool. Would you guys want me to like show how to set up an ad after all this? Okay, that'd be cool. Yeah, it's real simple. So we use Google search bar, use Facebook search bar to research your competitors. So we won't just only use Facebook to research our competitors. We'll go to their website. We'll see how their store is set up, and we'll kind of set up our store similarly. Bless you. Search for top lists. Oh yeah, I always follow and I like my competitors' stuff. So if I see an ad in the newsfeed, I'll like my competitor. That way I see more of their stuff and I can see how they're running their advertising. And that I just don't want to reinvent the wheel. And I want to do what they're doing, but do it better. So Facebook also has a tool where you can go to your competitors' fan pages and look at exactly every single ad that they're running on Facebook. So that is awesome. I think they implemented that not too long ago. Really powerful tool just to spy on your competitors. There's also apps that you can use to spy on people. I like spying on people. Not like in real life, but like online, the competitors. Not a Russian spy, I swear. So you definitely want to be smart when you're researching competitors. Yes. 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 So if you want to set up a business account with Facebook, you just go to business.facebook.com and you just use your regular Facebook logins to create the business manager account. And then you could start running advertising. So the link is business.facebook.com. Yeah, so we just went over this. Always research. What we did with the Yoni eggs is we went and researched all of our competitors. Like we went on YouTube, we went on Google, we hunted them down on Facebook, on Instagram. We saw what kind of posts they were doing, how different are the posts that they're making on Facebook to how they're making them on Instagram, what kind of content, what kind of video content are they putting out. Then we just did everything better than all of them and crushed it. Sourcing products, so product research, obviously, sourcing products, get 3 to 5 solid products, populate your store and go to AliExpress. Like what I mean by get 3 to 5 solid products, like you don't have to sell every single product that you put on your store, but you don't want to have a store that has like 2 products on it. Like people are gonna go to that and they're like, what's this, a scam? So we definitely put up a whole bunch of products. Like maybe they'll go and they'll, after they see the ad and buy something, maybe they'll go on and do some, browsing around the store and maybe they'll get something else. But we definitely want to populate it and make it look full and nice. But really you're only focusing on selling like 2 or 3 products, the products that you're sending ads to. So it's really simple. And then you could always add more on there if you would like. This is actually the app that we use. This is Dropified, so it shows you the vendor. So you can see right here, these watches are like $2.63 that you could get them from the vendor, and you can mark up the price to like $29 or something like that and add some shipping to it. Most of the money that we have made with Shopify, it really helps is with shipping. So we used to do like $9.99 shipping. A lot of money comes in from the shipping. It helps out. So instead of like $30, that ends up being like $36, $37, and you spent like $5 on advertising. And that is my phone. I'm gonna turn that off real quick for the taping. All right. So yeah, so you could pick out all sorts of stuff, put them on your store. And this app is really, really powerful because you just pretty much click on the product and say import to Shopify, and it just goes directly to the store. So you don't have to like take images, upload the images, and then do all these descriptions. It'll take all that and copy it from their site, and all you do is just edit it when it's on there, and make it look pretty. Let's, yeah, are you saying like the product pages? Um, mhm. Yeah. No, so you use that through the app. The app just walks you through. Like once you get the app installed, Dropify app installed on your Shopify store, it'll start interacting with AliExpress when you go to the site. Yeah. Is that what you were asking? Yeah. And it's got like a little add on to your browser at the top, and you just click that, and then it just kind of sends it over. Yeah. So, oh yeah, these were the things that Hank got sued for. Idiot. So you can. There's a lot of different things that you could do to improve the conversions of your website, because it'll start pretty standard for you. So we'll add different payment options. Something like we'll add PayPal in there. We'll use the credit cards. We'll put like Apple Pay in there, Google Pay, and you could. That's all integrated with Shopify. So it's really, really easy to use. You want to have good descriptions. You want to have good images. You want to have one of the things that we found that did really, really well was, putting something there that's like it was $59.99 or whatever it is, and now it's $29.95, and then tell them like, oh, and you save this much. So that definitely helped with conversions. Color schemes help with conversions. So if that, like, I'll never make a red bar on there. That's to me that just says stop or scam. So everything's like green or yellow, really inviting warm colors. And you can create collections. So with a niche store, it doesn't have to be just one product. Like you saw with the Oni eggs, there's multiple different products in there, but they're all very similar and they complement each other, and that's what makes it work. So it doesn't just have to be one product. So you could do like, so sunglasses, watches, jewelry, and you could just pick one or two from each category and run an ad to it, and you're doing good. Some finishing store touches that you would want to have is to have a professional logo made. If you don't know how to do that, you could go to sites like Fiverr and get a logo done pretty quickly. So improving store for conversions, that helps, definitely helps. You want to have all your apps installed. These are not necessary to start. Like you don't have to do this, so don't get hung up there. Like typically when we would test with new stores, like I would just put text at the top. It wouldn't even be a logo because I was focused on sending people to the product page of the product that I'm advertising with the video, which I'll go a lot. This will make a lot more sense in the second half because I'll be showing you guys all the ads and stuff and how I actually drive the traffic, and I'll show you into the back offices. I just wanted to kind of give this introduction to you about all this stuff. So, so if you still have questions, if you have questions now, I'm gonna eliminate those questions in the second half. So place a test order. You definitely want to place a test order to see if your store is working because you don't want to have customers coming in placing orders and then it's just nothing's connected and you have no way of fulfilling. So make sure that everything works before you actually start pumping a whole bunch of traffic into your store. You don't want to lose money. So make sure your traffic works before you start, or make sure it works before you start running traffic. It's a tongue twister. So in this section, I really want to cover more the traffic side of things and the advertising that we do to run our Shopify stores. I mentioned this earlier, but if you do want to start running ads with Facebook, it's really simple. You just go to business.facebook.com and create a business account with them. With that, you can create fan pages. You'll have access to ad accounts. You can have multiple ad accounts that you could do whatever you wish with. And you'll have something called the pixel. The pixel is absolutely crucial to have. nobody should be running Facebook ads without the pixel, unless you're like focusing on just, viral content and sending out viral content, like creating, funny videos or something like that. But if you're trying to sell anything, you need to implement the pixel. And what the pixel is, it's basically a piece of code that gets installed onto your website that tracks people. So it does all the tracking. So you know when someone viewed something, you know when somebody added something to a cart, and you know when somebody purchased. That information gets fed back to Facebook. You see that in your reporting. You can make more intelligent decisions on what you need to do as far as making the sale or following up with the people that have already bought from you. So creating a Facebook fan page, it has to match your brand, and just choose the brand category and website and you're good to go. You can't run any ads unless you have a Facebook fan page. It just won't, that's how you run ads. You run them from pages. You don't run them from your personal account, because if you run something from your personal account and something happens, your entire Facebook account is gone. So there's a lot of things that you can do wrong in Facebook, and there's a lot of things you can do right, and I want to go over all the things that you can do right so you can avoid all the wrong. But these pages are really simple. I'm sure you've seen them on Facebook. They're all over. Like any videos that you see, like I'm sure, how many of you guys use Facebook? Everybody probably. So if you see like a funny video, you'll see like the fan page will be like awesome videos or something, or whatever. So that's typically how you would run ads. You would need a Facebook fan page. And you could have multiple fan pages. You could have as many fan pages as you want. I've had Dragon Ball Z fan pages because I love Dragon Ball Z. You could have like Star Wars fan pages. You could have fan pages about just products. If it's like a niche store, if you're selling something, like for our Yoni egg store, we have a page. I could show you guys an example of that in a bit. So we have just a fan page that is called Chakrava, and it only has information on that fan page about that specific product. So that creates like a really loyal following. They follow, you could post stuff every single day to that page, and they're going to see that in their newsfeed. Start an ad account and install your pixel. That's like one of the first things that you do. And then there's a whole bunch of different types of ads that Facebook offers that you can use. So the main ones that I use are going to be conversion ads. Conversion ads are the ads that focus more based off or focus on the pixel side of things. So view content, add to cart, purchase conversion value, all that stuff. I'll go over that when I get into Facebook. So there's also things like there's traffic ads. Traffic ads are exactly what they sound like. They're more focused on getting people off of Facebook onto a website. There's engagement ads that focus more on getting a piece of content, likes, comments, shares, all that stuff, making it go viral. There's video ads that are more targeted to getting views on videos, if that's the route that you take. Mostly all my advertising that I do, I use videos for cold traffic because it grabs people's attention really fast, and then I could follow up with images or blog posts or any of that type of stuff. There's lead ads if you're capturing leads. Those ads are mainly just focused on leads, collecting leads, and Facebook has a really cool feature where they allow you to create lead pages within Facebook, so you don't have to use something like third-party thing like ClickFunnels or anything else. You could just go ahead and create a really quick lead page on Facebook and just run traffic to that. But yeah, mostly the one that I use for all of my e-commerce stuff is conversion ads. One thing I do like to do, if I've created a video and I want to test to see if that product will work, I'll run an engagement ad to it, and I'll ask a question in that ad. And the question will be like, it'll be something like, would you get this? Or do you think this is awesome? Comment yes below or whatever. And if I see a lot of people saying yes or no, if I see a lot of people saying yes to getting the product, then I will run a conversion ad to it and I'll scale up. So this is some of the results from one of the ad campaigns that we were running. I think we spent 128 grand and it made back $399,000, which is a really good campaign. That was for, I think it was, what was it? It was like these magnetic cubes that we were selling. But we started getting like a lot of emails from customers being like, this was really bad. So I didn't even think of this when I ran it. I don't know if you guys have seen those. I'll show you an example of it, the example of the ad. But it was like these like magnetic tiny little cubes that would make up like a big cube or whatever. But emails that we started getting was like, what if like a child chokes on that? So I was like, oh, we should probably turn this off because I don't want a lawsuit. So we stopped running it. Thank God we didn't have any issues though. So Facebook has all these different types of reportings that you can look at. It has, how many people purchased, how many people that you have reached, how many add to carts you got, how many people viewed a piece of content. Everything's in there. It's really smart to have this done properly, because if you're running your ads blind, then that you're just wasting money. So I try to do everything where I see where I'm paying attention to all of the numbers, and making decisions based off numbers and not just, I think it'll work. You definitely don't want to do that. I think it was about 3 or 4 months of running that campaign. Test ads based on budget. In an ideal world, you could test all your products, but we can't spend thousands of dollars per day. So we'll typically start with new products. We'll run ads. We'll start out at like $10, $5, $10, and then we'll make decisions based on how much money it's bringing back on that. So this is another ads manager. This was a different account. On this one, we spent like 172. It made $500,000 around there. So it's really good platform. Facebook is really, really powerful. I'm just going to show you guys some ads. Would you guys want to see some ads that I've created? These are really fun. So this one here, but you can see that one of the best ways to run an ad to a cold audience with Facebook, we've found out, is that Insider style of video, where I don't know if you guys follow Insider, but their videos were all like this. We were one of the first to start running them like this. Actually, me and my friend Jamie, we used to work together. We started running them like this, and these have the best conversion rates. They go viral, and they're really, really short. We keep all our videos under 60 seconds to a cold audience. One, because people's attention span on Facebook is like a fish. So like they're scrolling a million miles an hour. Your goal should be to grab their attention as fast as possible, because I go through countless videos all the time, and if like within 2 seconds, if I'm not interested, I'll go right past it. You can see all of them have the same style. What's up with this? So this was a test. This one did not do so well. Yep. And I'll show you guys one more. Oh, this one. So my friend John, my roommate in San Francisco, he like got interested in e-commerce because he saw that we were just doing really well. So he basically, I taught him within a few days, and I was like, here, John, use this video and just run traffic to it. And it was these rock salt lamps, and he made 750 grand within like a month, I think it was, with this product. And we tried to run it, and it just didn't work because he just took over the market with it. But I'll show you this video. So we created this for him really quickly, and he had never even run any type of e-commerce store or sold anything online for that matter. And then he just kind of lost his mind because he never seen that kind of money. He just like, I don't know what he did with it, but it's gone now. So this one is more geared towards explaining what this product is. This was run, I think like 2 years ago we ran this, 2.5 years ago, something like that. And this will work sometimes it won't work. You just have to figure out which type of video is gonna be congruent with your audience. This worked really well. Basically, I just targeted people that were into like chakras and crystals and stuff like that. Jade, just all the keywords that we focused on Facebook. I was really surprised how well this one did. I don't know. No, yeah, I assume so. I got it off, what was it, off the site that we ordered it from, which I think was Amazon. It's got to be true then. I don't know. I just took everything that was in the description off, I think, the Amazon product, and I just made a video out of it. So I guess it. So I'll show you an example of it, of something that you shouldn't run on Facebook. I think it's this one. No, not this one. Where is it? This one. This is so awful. So there's things that are not going to work on Facebook. There's things that you should avoid. You should avoid selling weapons on Facebook. So no, like, don't use profanity in your ads. That's going to get you shut down. Don't use things that are overly sexual. That's going to cause issues with Facebook, because Facebook is more focused on users. They don't want you to have a bad experience on Facebook, so they don't want us as advertisers putting any type of, like, you don't want kids seeing something weird. But this was the video. I was like, this looks like, this was one of the products me and Caitlin tested before we got the Yoni eggs. Don't. So don't do that. Oh yeah, it worked. It was selling really well. The ad after a certain amount of time just kept getting disapproved. Facebook was like, "What are you doing? You're so stupid." But this was the cubes. You could see that, like, when you do this properly. I think this one has like 8 million views or something on Facebook, but it has that social proof, and you always want to have social proof. So typically when I start an ad, I'll run an engagement ad to it to get that social proof, comments and the likes, the hearts, whatever it is. That way it creates, when people see it, it kind of like validates the product more. They're like, oh, this is a viral product. This is selling, or this is cool. People have bought this before. I'm not patient A, right? So this was the video on this. I ran into issues with this one again because it wasn't my content. But I had asked the person if I could use it. I found them on YouTube. They allowed me to do it. So we kept running it. We ran this one for about, I would say, 3 months. I think it made close to $500,000, this one. So what happens when you find a winning product on Facebook? Your competitors, remember, are always going to be watching you too. So when you find something that works and that's giving you a positive ROI, scale as fast as possible, because everyone else is going to get on that too. There's software that you can use to find winning products, winning videos that other e-commerce store owners are running, and that's how you can do market research. Just basically spy on everybody else and run the traffic yourself and see if it works. Okay, let me go back to the slides. I will go over that towards the end. So there's a whole wide variety of them. There's like 20 of them, but there's like 3 or 4 that are really, really good. Mostly, right now, I spend a lot of time just going through the newsfeed. I'll like every single page that has like cool stuff on it, and I'll find random products. Like, I try to sell products that nobody else is selling. That's the best way to do it. I found every product that I launched that was new always succeeded, and then everyone else just kind of jumps on the bandwagon, and you're just like, dude, come on, man, you're ruining it for me. So you want to split test. So ad test, or test ads. Sorry, I'm getting like distracted. Split test ads, ad types, demographics. There's keyword interests and behaviors. There's a few ways that you can target on Facebook. I mostly do interests. Well, keywords is interests. I think with like something like Google AdWords, they use keywords and phrases and other things, but Facebook is interests and behaviors. Interest is basically things that, you could target Coca-Cola, people that are interested in Coca-Cola. You could target people that are interested in, pretty much anything. They have a whole list of things that you can use. And you can use the audience insights tool to find the demographics and all those things inside Facebook to help you with your targeting, so your ads are reaching the people that are more likely going to buy something from you. So definitely a good thing to do. You always want to split test your videos and your images. Sometimes I'll create like 3 to 4 different versions of the same video with different wording in it, different copy, just to see if it'll work. And then I'll take the one that's performing the best, and I'll scale that one up, and I'll shut off all the other ones. So that's how I test all of my ads. I don't just create one ad and then hope if it doesn't work, then I quit. I try to like use up every option when I split test before I make the decision to stop running traffic. You always want to start small. You don't want to start your ad at like $10,000 a day. You want to start with $5, $10. You want to learn your analytics. You want to scale realistically. That is all on you. But if you're looking at the numbers correctly and you're following, like if you're doing exactly what Facebook is telling you and showing you, then you could scale. Don't just like make one sale with a $5 budget and think you could scale to $100. You want to scale slowly. So if $5 made you a sale, the next day make the budget $10. If you get 2 sales, scale to $20. Then scale to $30, and then to $50, and then you kind of go from there. One thing Facebook's algorithm will do is when you scale too fast, it could destroy an entire campaign. So you never want to scale. Never want to start your budget super high or change things. Number 1 rule with Facebook: 1 change per ad per day, per 24 hours. If you set up your ad and then it's running, and then halfway through the day you make a change, don't make another change after that. It'll screw it up. Meaning, don't change the age, don't change the copy, don't do anything else. It'll screw it up. From that point, just create a new ad. And you test, and test. You want to continue advertising, one, for the optimization. So if it's doing really well, is that spelled wrong? That's funny. Optimization. Yeah, it should be Anyways, so as far as optimizing your campaigns, you can do things called like lookalike campaigns, and that's all based on the pixel. So lookalike campaigns are something that you would do, like the Facebook pixel basically tracks every user that lands on your website, and Facebook also collects that information into something called audiences. So to optimize your campaign, you can do it by creating lookalikes. So basically telling Facebook, hey, Facebook, here's 1,000 people that have looked at my ad. Take those 1,000 people and create a lookalike audience of those people, of like 2 million people that are similar to that audience, and then advertise to them. So that's how you optimize your campaigns. And give it time. Usually I give it about 48 to 72 hours before I give up on a product if it's not working, if I've done everything. So always give it time. Don't think it's going to start making sales immediately, unless it's like a really good product and you start with a higher budget. You can figure that out. Invest 20% of your profits back into your advertising. So keep adding and adding more. I mean, I went pretty crazy when I did this. Like in my house, when we had our like incubator in San Francisco, when we were all trying to figure out ads, we would like stay up like 3-4 days at a time, and everything that we made, we would just throw right back into the ads like crazy people. Like our house, it was just Adderall, beer, and just no sleep, and it was just awful. So we've tested a lot of ads. I'm a crazy person. I don't know. I spent too much time doing ads. Feel like a scientist sometimes, like Walter White of Facebook ads. So yeah, so now you have cash flow. So your ads are making money. Your ad is creating some income. Now you want to scale. So that's how you just have to. So so it can be very tricky. There's a few ways of scaling. There's vertical scaling. There's horizontal scaling. Then there's spherical scaling. Vertical scaling. I'm like, I just choked on my spit. Yeah, where is it? Wow. Wrong pipe. Okay. Scaling. So vertical scaling, vertical scaling, horizontal scaling, and spherical scaling. Yes. Spherical is where you're going back in and taking your lookalike campaigns. You're taking the original ad and you're kind of showing it back to the audience over again in a different way. So once you've gone through scaling like with money, and then there's going to be, it'll fatigue at some point. You have to figure out a different way to scale. So that's when you scale with content. So that's vertical, or that's horizontal, and then spherical is scaling through lookalikes and things like that. So typically, I will only use lookalikes to scale like at the third level when I'm scaling spherically. That's when you can start making like an insane amount of money, pretty crazy. Scale your e-com store, continue to test more products. It's really all about just testing tons of products. And that's what that's why e-commerce is so awesome, because you're able to test so much. There's just endless products out there that you could test. There's endless ideas out there. And some of you will probably launch some pretty crazy stuff. I don't know, make more money than I do. Optimize your store. So again, we talked about colors, the buttons, different apps that you can install, collecting emails. Like one of the cool apps that we were using, it was called like Wheelio, Wheelio, where you install it on your store, and when somebody lands on it, there's like a wheel that you spin and it offers prizes, and it also collects their email information. I don't know if you can do that on Amazon or not, but yeah, that's one way to optimize. So there's a lot of different applications that you can use with Shopify that are in their Shopify app marketplace that you can add on and do all this cool stuff with to optimize your store. Like I'll see a lot of stores that just they'll do like the very basic stuff. Or like clients will come to me and they'll be like, "What's wrong with my store?" I'm like, "I don't know, everything." Like, add some apps, man. Create standard operating procedures and outsource. So at some point, you're not going to be able to do all of this. It'll get too crazy. Like if you can do it, but it's a lot. Like you might want to order some hire some VAs, hire VAs to do like customer service for you, because people are going to have questions like or refunds or something like that. Like in the beginning, I was doing all this, creating the stores, finding the images, creating the ads, and then running the traffic at the same time. And that was like, I was going insane. That's not why I got into this industry. I got into this industry because I didn't want to work. So I don't want to do all that work. It's insane. And then focus all your efforts on growing and optimizing the business, basically. So, and then eventually you could sell the store, whatever you want to do with it. You could sell the store. You could open up other stores. There's just a whole bunch of things that you can do. And then rinse and repeat, create unstoppable profits. So rinse, repeat, build some income assets, sell assets for big paydays. So the goal is always to exit. You don't. That's my goal. Like I want to build brands, and then I just want to sell them for like. And on the marketplace, Shopify marketplace, people are selling stores for an insane amount of money, and it shows how much. So that's another thing that I'll do to spy on competition, or to figure out what new products to sell. I'll go to the Shopify marketplace and see the stores that are doing well, and I'll look at all the numbers. How much are they making per month? What is their profit margin? All that stuff, and then I'll find that product on AliExpress. I'll test it myself. And then I'll do the same thing they did. So sometimes you don't even need any spy tools to do that. You just got to do things intelligently. So there's a lot of free ways to spy on your competition. So the challenges, obstacles, and problems you'll likely encounter with store setup, finding products, vendors, optimization. That's like that's spelled correctly. That's cool. Advertising, negotiating with vendors. Sometimes you can negotiate prices with vendors if, like, let's say maybe 99 cents is too much to pay for a watch. Maybe I want to pay 50 cents. Talk to the vendor, be like, hey, we're going to order in bulk, or we have a lot of orders coming in. Can we get the price down? Like, what's the lowest price you can go if I send you a lot of sales? And you could work that out with the vendor from China off AliExpress. Selling, obviously, running your advertising, fulfilling. Can be an issue sometimes. These are just all problems, man. So many problems. Facebook pages. I've had so many Facebook pages shut down when I didn't know what I was doing, just based off of like a piece of content that wasn't mine, or the copy in it was wrong or something like that. Maybe the thumbnail image was wrong, and advertising, testing's crazy. Copywriting. I always spend a lot of time on copywriting, especially with the retargeting. There's like a really good process to doing it. Cold traffic is you just want to get their attention, so your copy is usually like a question, or it's just something really vague. And then in your retargeting is when you really want to work on copy and really sell the product through the videos and through providing value and information to the customer. Scaling is always a problem. Scaling is always a problem if you don't know what you're doing. That's the most difficult one. It took me like 3 years to figure out scaling, because I would get so eager. And one of the guys that I learned from His name is Jason Hornung. He taught me Facebook ads, and I spent over a lot of money on trying to figure out Facebook ads. And then, so when I went to his place, I had difficulty scaling. And one of the products I was selling, it was like a DBZ hoodie at the time. And I was targeting the audience of Dragon Ball Z fans and all that stuff. And I just couldn't get past, I think it was like $1,000 spent a day. If I spent more than $1,000 a day, my ads just went to crap, no ROI, and I was just losing money. So when I went to his course, it was like a 3-day event. I think it was like, I don't remember how much it was like 15K or something. I went there, spent 3 days with him, and then after that, that's when everything changed. And he was running ads for like Tony Robbins and stuff and all sorts of marketers, and he knew exactly what he was doing. So I learned from him as far as scaling. So scaling can be really difficult. Duplication is also difficult too sometimes. You can, like we've had this issue when I was in, with traveling around with my friend Jamie. I taught him, Shopify as well. One of the issues that we had, because we'd sit there and we'd share information together. Like I'd be like, okay, this product is working. You should test it. And he'd be like, all right, let me test it. And then be doing really good for me, but then for some reason it just wouldn't do good for him. So what we figured out is just duplicate content sometimes doesn't work on Facebook. If you're first to upload a certain piece of content onto Facebook, Facebook will reward you with sales or more reach or whatever. If you steal somebody's video and run an ad to that exact same video, it might not work because one, they're running it first, and now you're just stealing content, and Facebook's going to be like, yeah, nice try, you dum-dum, and then have an exit strategy. So analytics, retargeting, like I said, when we first started, I did no retargeting. Retargeting is basically following somebody around. It's a follow-up sequence. You're not following up with people. You're losing a ton of money in your advertising because that's where most of your returns are going to come from. Your cold traffic ads to the new customers, if you're starting out with any product, it's usually going to be around like 2-3x with cold traffic, unless it's like a really insane product. And then it doesn't even come down to the technical stuff at that point. It's really just your video and the product. So normally, 2 to 3x return on a cold traffic ad is what you should expect. That's normal. Anything else is insane. That doesn't really happen anymore. Where you get your 15x, 20x, 30x on returns is with your retargeting ads, following up through a sequence of videos after that initial cold traffic ad. You always want to have email marketing. You don't want to just be focused on ads. You want to be following up with them not only through Facebook and following them around all over the internet. You want to be following up with emails. Hey, Christmas is coming up. We should all be making so much money during Christmas. So follow up with email marketing, things like promotions, new products that are coming out. Maybe you're having a sale on your store, something like that. You always want to do email marketing. Capturing leads is so crucial to all of this. So many marketers just won't collect a list, and then they're just losing money. Email marketing is free marketing for you. You've already paid for that. All you got to do is just send an email. That's it. Building trust in a community. Content marketing is something that's just absolutely insane. So ranking on Google, things like that, creating content, creating videos, you can get burnt out pretty easily doing all this stuff, outsourcing, all that stuff. So traffic, lead generation, customer reports, support. Support is an issue. We always try to get VAs to help out with customer support, because if you're doing big numbers, then you're just going to get absolutely overwhelmed with all the people that are just emailing you all day. And it's insane. They'll put in an order and they're 2 minutes later, they're like, so where's my product, man? Where is it? I'm like, dude, you just ordered it 2 minutes ago. 3 days. So you always want to follow up and tell them, hey, it's going to take a few days for the product to get there. If they ask, or you'll get emails, people saying hey, it came broken or something like that. So you kind of talk to them and send them a new product or just refund them. So that's all up to you. So support can get really heavy, so it's a good idea to have virtual assistants to help you out with that. There's also apps that you can use that'll automate that whole process for you. App use, figuring out which apps to use can be an issue. Processing and fulfillment. In the beginning stages, I ran into a lot of issues with processing and fulfillment. In the beginning, I didn't really know what I was doing. I was using, I think it was called Shopify app at the time. I would get 70, 80 orders a day, and I was selling these bracelets. They were anchor bracelets, and I was targeting people that are in the Navy or the military or something like that. I think it was sailing in the Navy, U.S. Navy, that I was targeting. and they were getting it, but what I would be doing, I would be sitting there for like 7 hours fulfilling each order manually. I was just like going insane. I was like, this is crazy. So yeah, don't worry. So save costly mistakes, endless heartaches, headaches, and hassle because, so we've spent over like, I think, all together with all the ad accounts and all the client accounts that I've had, we've spent over $1 billion in cash or just testing ads, just figuring out what is working. We spent an insane amount of time and just tears and just all that, just figuring all this stuff out. As far as Facebook goes, I've always believed in the fact of going and getting mentorship, getting help, because this stuff is so difficult to figure out on your own. You can lose a lot of money with Facebook if you don't know what you're doing. If like a lot of people just dump money in there and then lose it, like they're like, what's going on? So a lot of people will just not even install the pixel on the store. It's just absolutely insane. So I've done all this for you, so you don't have to. Would you guys be interested in doing having me help you set up a store, a Shopify store? Raise your hand, say yes. Okay, so at this event, what we've set up, what I've decided to do, I was doing these with Hank, and we were doing these events 25 grand per person when we were doing them, and every single person did really well. So what we're gonna do is do a 4-day event, a 4-day intimate event in a room where we get together and we help you set up a store. It'll be me and another person, probably Hank or somebody else. Maybe Caitlin will come with me to help you guys out. So it's an entire step-by-step store setup. We'll show you the exact tools every e-com expert uses to maximize revenue and ROI. Hands-on support, integration, all components. We'll show you all this. We'll give you 12 months of private Facebook group access to get access for my team and myself. So you'll never be alone. We'll always be there to have your back. You'll have lifetime access to my e-com training lab, over 120 modules of everything that we'll go over at the workshop. So you'll have that to reference back, and then anytime that you have any issues, you could hit us up and we'll help you out. And then, so one of the things that we're gonna do, because we're at this event, I wanted to pick the products for you and create the video ad for you and give that to you. And at the workshop, once we create the store, I'll just be like, here, I'm gonna set up the ad for you, run it, and that'll be your e-com business. So that's pretty cool. So we're only doing this for 15 students because one, I have to have one like unique video created for every single person. Like I wish we could do more, but it'd be absolutely crazy. So 15, it's gonna be really intimate, really small workshop for 15 students only. So we were doing this for 25,000. We were gonna do this for 10,000, but just at this event, because you guys are here, we're gonna do it for 7,497. Yeah, so again, you get the complete store setup with us. We show you the exact tools you use. Basically, you leave there with a working e-commerce business and running ads and making money. So yeah, so if you guys have questions, they definitely go to anyone back there, to Stefan, I like Stefan better. I'm gonna call him Stefan. They'll answer any questions that you have, and I hope to see you. If you guys have questions, I'll probably be out there for me. I'd love to talk to you, but it was really good having you, and thank you for listening to my little spiel here. So, yeah, thank you.